Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. So first, I want to sit there and talk about the confrontation between Trina and Esme. Now, Trina has always been a iffy character to me, you know? Never really liked her, never really disliked her. She was kind of like middle of the road, right? When Tabi took over, I liked her more because of the actress and the way that she played Trina. And this scene, I genuinely loved it because Trina didn't just have a backbone. Trina was like she was that woman in charge, and I loved it. Right? And she confronts her and basically is like, you know, it's not like I don't want you in jail. I just want you in jail for the stuff that you did do. And she's like, you know what? At this point, I'm just gonna sit there and move on with my life. And she talks about going to Paris. And, Esme does her whole fake, oh, that's so great. That sounds really wonderful. And Trina's like, yeah. And here's the thing also. Spencer's coming with me. At this point, she flips out, right? She flips out and she's all like, oh, what are you talking about? He shouldn't be abandoning his brother and yada, 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 this, that, and third. And, Trina's like, whoa. You was the one that wanted this whole Miss Independence. I could sit there and take care of my child on my own. Now you get to do that. You get to do that for a whole semester. This is what you wanted. This is what you're getting. What's the problem? And, with that being said, she's, again, just flipping out and just, because here's the thing. What she doesn't know is that the old Esme is back. Yellow Esme is back, and that's why she's literally losing her ish. She says what she says, and she pretty much is like, you know what, listen, we don't think about you. When she said that, it was kind of just like mic dropped and just walked off, and I loved it. When they give this girl some action material and some backbone, it is hell of impressive. Now, on the other side, this is where things start to get a little dicey. Alright? So Nicholas is talking about, oh, I want you to sit there and go with me because Esme is dangerous, yada, yada, yada. And Spencer's not there defending her. Spencer's like, listen, she's actually a good mom. She genuinely cares about her son. They're going back and forth. And then, for reasons that I do not understand, because, he still doesn't trust her. Spencer still doesn't trust Nicholas. Damn, scam calls like there's no tomorrow. Anyway, so he still doesn't trust him, which I completely understand. And he shuts down this whole idea of, I'm going. And he's going. And then Nicholas is like, oh, let me sit there and take Ace, yada, 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 yada. And then Spencer agrees. And that's where he lost me. That's where he lost me. Before then, he was sitting there talking to talking to him about, hey, listen, maybe Esme may go to jail. He finds out from his grandma that that's not the case, and I understood that, but are you serious? First of all, why? I'm pretty sure you don't fully trust him. That's just number one. Number two, what the hell do you plan on sitting there telling Esme at this point? Now, I get that he feels that the old Esme is back. He's not certain, and he does sit there and share his theory for some odd reason with Nicholas that, I think that she remembers. But, like, I think the only possible way I could sit there and see this making sense, because something has to make sense to me at this point. Is that he did it to protect Ace because he feels like the old Esme's back. And even then, I don't know. Part of me just feels like that whole thing is just out of pocket what he did. And eventually, Esme does come to the door. When Spencer realized that he forgot one of his favorite toys. So I'm like, all right, Houdini, what's your what's your plan for Snitch telling her that? What are you gonna sit there and say? You gonna sit there and say the boogeyman stole the Ace, or what are you gonna do? That's what I'm very curious about tomorrow. What is he planning on listening to saying? What is going to come to that genius head of his? I can't wait. So Sonny is able to sit there and stop Dex in time, and then Cyrus tells Sonny that he's dropping the charges. Sonny's like, "Well, why are you going to do it for? Why are you going to do it?" He doesn't really sit there and say. He talks to Dex, and Dex pretty much tells Sonny that, Nina did. He doesn't sit there and say, but he looks at Nina. And Nina comes to talk to, Sonny comes to talk to Nina. He's like, I don't want you interfering in my business. I don't want you interfering in my life. I think Nina gave him, I gotta sit there and rewatch this video. I think she gave Cyrus like some sort of timeshare or something. And she was like, listen, I did this to try to make up for what I did because you wouldn't have sat there and beat the hell out of Cyrus if you wasn't mad and angry about what I did. So in her way, she's there trying to not send him to jail. Now I sat there and I was like, okay, so you weren't going to sit. See, this is where Sonny just kind of blows me as a character sometimes. It's like I'm not. I look at everything that Nina did, right? Well, you don't really give a damn about Drew, so let's not sit there and try to act like you're holding resentment over that. Carly's fine. Carly has a business. She spent no time in jail. She lost a little money here and there, but she's fine. So, I mean, maybe it makes you look bad in the underworld, and that's something you gotta sit there and think of. But I'm like, she's trying, okay? And for him to sit there and say, looking at what she did, and it's just like, oh, stay away from me, stay away from my business. I'm just like, Nina, maybe you should sit there and see what Valentine's doing these days. See what Valentine's doing these days, because this dude don't seem like he has any ounce of gratitude whatsoever. I mean, here he slammed the door in your face. I felt like right then and there, that would have been just like, nope. Right back to Valentine, find somebody, anybody, Finn, pick someone and anyone other than Sonny. I don't even understand why she actually wants to sit there and be with Sonny. Stop and think about that for a minute. She's not built for that life. She's not built for the violence, and that's what Sonny does. He kills people. Okay? He straight up kills people. He is a murderer. Okay? I don't care how much you love him. You can't sit there and say you love him, but you're cool with what he does? Like, how could you sit there and be in love with somebody, but you can't respect what they do? Like, those two things don't even align. They don't work. And Jocelyn is sitting there blaming herself. Finn and Liz are sitting there trying to save Adam. There's another nurse there. And I think he goes like life-saving measures or something like that. And the nurse is like, hey, shouldn't you have to sit there and try to get an answer before you do any of whatever that magic stuff that you're doing? And Liz backs him up. I feel like that may play out later on because I think what he wound up doing was not following the hospital's procedure of getting a second doctor before he did what he did. Anyway, Adam's okay. Jocelyn blames herself, and Willow calls Carly. And, Jocelyn's there telling Finn and Liz, hey, listen, don't call Don't call his parents, because his parents is pretty much what got him in this place in the first place and was probably going to get him in the ground. But, they got to sit there and follow hospital procedure. And you see in the previews that whoever Liz is that they're talking to, she seems like she's a super Karen. I don't know who this chick is, but she seems like she has never smiled in years. She doesn't even know what a smile or a happiness even looks like. Um, so I'm probably gonna have to wind up dragging her ass tomorrow. But anyway, Trina gets there, and I think Adam eventually wakes up. Now Sonny tells Dex that he's impressed um, with even though he didn't actually do the job, the fact that he was willing to do it prove his loyalty. And it was just one of those things where it's like, I know he didn't want to do it. And granted, he was about to do it, but he just doesn't have it in him to actually go through it, which is fine. But like, I feel like this was just so much of an easy way out for Dex to sit there and not have any blood on his hands. And I think that's the part that just kind of, you know, annoys me the worst. Because, he had a lot of bodies, okay? He had bodies. And you can sit there and say it was self defense, whatever, yada, yada, yada. But he had bodies. He had blood on his hands. Dex was just an easy way out. And also maybe the fact that if it wasn't Cyrus and it was somebody else, I can see him probably doing something like that. I don't know. Either way, disappointing. Oh, and they're gonna see that Liz is not to talk and defend that. They're gonna sit there and see that Mondoon the doctor that treated the guy's family that sued. So they're gonna sit there and wind up seeing him and maybe comparing notes. So this way he can try to have some sort of defense about why he didn't sit there and catch this guy's cancer sooner. They're still doing that malpractice suit. Not exactly a build up to it, but it gives them stories. So I guess it's the best that they can do. I really don't feel like it's the best that they can do, but I feel like that's just the best that they're going to sit there and give us. So, anyway, they started that last year, so I'm not going to sit there and hold them against. I'm not going to sit there and hold that against them too much this year. With that being said, I'm going to go. I feel like that's pretty much about it. Can't think of anything else. If I missed anything, come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll sit there and talk about older shows, General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Bold and Beautiful, and Young and Restless. And yeah, I didn't sit there and wind up doing a live stream yesterday. I just needed a day, just a rest day. So now I'm back, and I can't wait to sit there and do a live stream tonight. So I will see y'all tonight.